And now, part 3.
Welcome to round 3 of It's Fighting Stupid Radio. This segment we'll be discussing Strikeforce, Bigfoot versus Fedor. It goes down from East Rutherford, New Jersey at the Izod Center this Saturday night. Strikeforce will be available on Showtime as well as Super Channel in Canada. After that, we're going to look at Gilbert Melendez. He recently re-signed with Strikeforce. Was this the right move? After that, we'll discuss about Dan Henderson and his potential appearance in the Strikeforce Royal Grand Prix. Take it away, DDT.
Very excited. Not very often you get to see this level of heavyweights fight all in one night.
Real throwback to Pride.
Yeah.
The heyday of Pride.
Yeah, I've always liked a good Grand Prix, and this is a good one.
I always loved the idea of a tournament, and I loved watching them in Bellator. It's just you didn't have the real big names to make it quite as compelling. You're dealing with some real big names here.
It's too bad that some of these fights didn't happen about 5 years ago. But, take what you can get.
Take it as it comes.
Starting at in the first reserve bout with Valentin Overeem versus Ray Sefo.
So by reserve bout, what we mean here is that in the event that there is a, heaven forbid, an injury to one of the 8 tournament entries, then we'll have somebody ready, or perhaps maybe a contract situation. I know those tend to happen every once in a while. The first heavyweight Grand Prix reserve bout will be Valentine the Python Overeem versus my man Ray Sugarfoot Sefo. How do you see this one going down there, DDT?
Oh, this will be an interesting fight. I see Sefo being in better conditioning, having a better camp. But Valentin Overeem's been around the block. He's submitted a lot of good fighters by a lot of ways, and Sefo's got a very suspect ground game. Kevin Jordan gave him all sorts of fits in their fight before blowing out his knee. The Shaman, Kevin Jordan, yes.
That is correct. You'll know Kevin.
Of Gabriel Gonzaga fame.
Yes, he won half of the most boring fight in history.
I think Valentine Overeem's got something like 46 fights. He's always a 500 fighter, but...
I was going to take a little bit of issue there. I know Ray Sefo's an extreme couture guy, spent a lot of time with Vitor Belfort and those cats, but Valentin Overeem is a regular over at Golden Glory.
That's exactly it. Camp for camp, it's pretty good.
Martin de Jong there, training with Sergei Haritonov, Errol Zimmerman. Who the heck else is that?
I just see Ray being a little more of a consummate professional than Valentine Overeem as far as having a better camp is concerned.
Who all is at Golden Glory? For some reason the names are escaping me here.
Oh, Big Errol Zimmerman, Sammy
Schill.
All sorts of people. Oh, like who?
Oh, Guion.
Saki is.
Saki, yeah. That's right there. Haritonov is fighting out of there as well. So, there's a murderer's row of cats, and that's all on the striking side of things. And Valentin Overeem's bread and butter is a submission guy.
I was going to say Valentine Overeem's been known to still get into bar fights every now and again.
He holds a W.
But then again, Ray Sefo also got entered at a UFC not too long ago.
Well, you know how brothers are. Valentin Overeem holds a W over Randy Couture, if I'm not mistaken.
The guillotine choke.
A guillotine choke way back.
Rings.
King of Kings tournament?
Yeah, I think so.
King of Kings tournament, baby back.
Also holds a toe hold victory over Babalu, but also has a armbar loss to Gilbert Ivel. The guy's literally fought everyone from Shungo Oyama to Minotauro Nogueira to Igor Vovchanchkin, losing by heel hook.
He's fought guys from countries I can't even pronounce. Fantastic. This is a real, just kind of a testament to the international flavor.
And 53 fights against 2 fights. That's a lot of grappling. 16 wins by submission.
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
I'm really starting to lean towards Valentine on this fight.
Yeah, it could happen.
Ray's first fight, he fought that Min Soo Kim, I think his name is, the fellow that Brock Lesnar ran over in his first fight. And he even got Sefo to the ground.
The Korean Shark.
Sure.
The Korean Shark, yeah, that's right. He is a glorified punching bag. And, I don't see either of these guys having a big career in MMA. I'm looking for Valentin Overeem to win by submission, and probably that'll be about it.
I'm hoping for Sefo to win. I'd like to see him win. He'd be a fun fight for somebody like Shane Delarazio or Bobby Lashley, somebody like that. But Valentine Overeem would be too. And then, Valentine Overeem's gone as far as to say he would fight his brother. So
I just
his heart's in it.
I like having the opportunity to say Sugarfoot, so I'm also hoping Safo wins, but I think Overeem's going to take it. Moving up the card, we got another heavyweight Grand Prix reserve bout. We've got Bad Chad Griggs.
The Gravedigger.
The Gravedigger. Versus Giampiero Villantante. Ring of Combat guy. He at one time he held the heavyweight title and attempted to get the light heavyweight title as well, but I think he hyperextended his arm in the process. Never did pull it off, but he's a big prospect coming out of Jersey.
9-1.
9-1.
Fighting out of the Belmont Kickboxing Academy.
Yes, he's a definite prospect. I think you're probably going to see bigger things from him at 205 than you will at heavyweight. But Chad Griggs himself is not a large heavyweight. I believe he fought Bobby Lashley at around 229 or 230.
No, Gravedigger's a smaller heavyweight.
Yeah, I think this is more...
A lot older, too, I believe, than Gian.
Well, you kind of have to think that Chad Griggs was probably brought in with the idea that he was going to lose to Bobby Lashley. I don't think they picked him because he was going to have a big future in the sport. I think they look at Villante as a guy who is going to have a bit of a future here.
In all fairness, and from the fights I've watched for both of these guys, Chad Griggs can take a beating. And still and come back. Not that he came back and beat Lashley, but he was still there. He was still ready to fight. Gian Villante there doesn't have the best gas tank in the world from the fights I've seen.
And he was going to be fighting up at heavyweight.
Yeah, that's so this might be more competitive than it seems, but you have to go with the favorite Gian there with his 9-1 record versus the Gravedigger. You can't go with the punching bag theory on this one.
Moving up the card, we've got Team Oyama member Shane Del Rosario taking on AKA's LeVar Johnson. LeVar Johnson is notable for surviving a drive-by and returning to the ring afterwards.
On LeVar Johnson there. Click on his name.
Mr. Shane Del Rosario, on the other hand, is he's a blue chipper with big things written all over him. You want to start with Johnson?
Sure. Apparently made his debut against Doug Marsh, TKO corner stoppage at WEC 9. How big is this fella?
He's not huge. But I believe he is 6'4", 251. So he's certainly not small.
He's a big boy.
Yeah, big enough, boy. I tell you.
I gotta favor Del Rosario in this fight.
He's definitely got more heat behind him. He's a big heavyweight too. He's tipping the scales at 6'4", 240 pounds.
He moves good. Moves very well. And in his I think it was his last fight he fought that Hawaiian? That he kneed up in the clinch?
Solo Hohehe Mahe?
Yes, yep. Now he was showing good movement.
Well, yeah, I think he's one of the guys that they're looking to carry their division in the future. He's one of the guys they've done a really good job of building up, and I think the way these guys match up, I think you could really see him show what makes him so exciting. He's a very technical kickboxer. He's got real good counter punching and big leg kicks.
Heavy leg kicks. Him and Cepha would be a fun fight. I'm picking Del Rosario on this fight.
I'm going with Del Rosario too.
But Laverne is a very game opponent.
LeVar Johnson's a guy who likes to stand too. He's tough as nails, but he's more of a brawler. I think that's what's going to get him in trouble, and that's why I think you're safe in picking Del Rosario. Moving up the card, we are going to look at the first of our Grand Prix quarterfinal bouts. This one will determine who moves into the semis.
The Battle of the Block.
The Battle of the Eastern Bloc. We have Belarus's Andrei the Pitbull Arlovsky taking on Russia's Sergey the Russian mercenary Haritonov. Andrei Arlovsky, former UFC champion, fan favorite, fun to watch when he shows up, focused, great hands, decent kickboxing, and sambo background as well.
You could literally say the exact same thing about Sergey Haritonov. These guys are basically mirror images of one another, aside from hand speed. Yeah,
the difference is Arlovsky's more light on his feet. He's got good footwork. Haritonov, on the other hand, is more of a plotter with big, heavy power. The two things that have changed with these guys as we watch them evolve at heavyweight, Andrei Arlovsky's mental game has become shook. He's coming off 3 losses, 2 of which are KOs.
With a very exposed chin.
Very exposed chin. Psychologically, he seems a bit fragile. Sergey Haritonov, his deficiency seemed to be A, with fighting infrequently, and B, being susceptible to leg kicks. He's done a good job addressing the leg kicks. He seems to be checking them really well. But he's still, and he's also more active, so he's got that going for him.
Lots of fights in K1 as of late.
The wild card is, this guy was just knocked out in late December. You know, he's got a win since then, but, you know, you still, they
recommend you take 3 months off, no contact.
Exactly. So, I mean...
And he's already been in, this will be his second fight in 2 months?
In that time frame, not to mention, you know, during training camp, how many bumps and bruises is this guy taking?
Well, when you're in a camp with superstars like that.
Exactly.
In a primary stand-up camp.
They train hard. So, you know, I think that's a real wild card. I think that's something that could come into play here if Andrei Arlovski tags Kharitonov. But, you know, Arlovski's chin isn't the greatest thing in the world either. This fight is going to be fun as hell to watch. I'm going to take Arlovski. You know, sentimental favorite. Looks like the Coyote.
I think Kharitonov will walk through. We'll probably walk him down and knock him out. Arlovski's, he's got okay flicking leg kicks, but they're not big leg kicks. And Kharitonov will beat him up in a boxing match. But it'll be a very good fight. It'll be really entertaining. I'm going to change that. Arlovski. No, I don't know. This is a pick'em.
There you go. You got DDT juggling his pick as he goes.
Well, these are two of the shittier heavyweights in this tournament. It's hard to.
Yeah, you know, it's.
You'd almost rather see guys like Del Razio or Cormier get the bump.
Well, you know, it's sort of
Kharitonov is still pretty relevant. But Arlovski's 3 losses.
It's who looks better on the marquee, you know, and Andrei Arlovski is a good name to have on the poster.
It's tough because Haritonov's body is so shot. He's a guy who's known to separate shoulders fairly easy. The last guy to beat Alistair Overeem, I think, via spine punch. In K1 Heroes, I think he punched him right in the back of the head and out of the ring. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, well, I think there's something off with Overeem in that fight. He wasn't all there. But anyway, I think Sergei Haritonov's lack of head movement is going to lead to a good 1-2 straight for Mr. Andrei Arlovski. KO, over and out.
Only takes one from Sergey, though, especially when you're Andrei Arlovski.
That's a fact. But, you know, Mr. Hart My Deep there from K1 didn't exactly lighting the world on fire.
Arlovski by TKO.
There we go.
You heard it here first.
Moving to the heavyweight main event, another quarterfinal bout in the World Grand Prix. We've got Fedor, the last Emperor Emelianenko, taking on Antonio Bigfoot Silva. This fight is going to be having the 14,000 people there in the Izod Center going bananas. They're tracking to sell out, and it's structured for 14.5. So, you know, it's
Strikeforce is making money. They're you know, it's good to see. And they're putting on. This is an awesome fight. This is one of those fights you wish you would have saw a couple of years ago, back when Antonio Silva was drubbing Tom Erickson. But this will be fun.
To me, other than you know, Antonio Silva has got a little more luster on him than he would have 3 years ago. You know, that loss he took in Bodog really took a lot of shine off of him. But
who's that to? Pele?
Pele, I think the thing here with Fedor versus Silva is this is exactly the kind of guy that Fedor likes to fight. He's not the fastest guy in the world.
He's not explosive.
You know, you saw it in the Mike Kyle fight there in Antonio Silva's last fight. Mike Kyle was able to get at his chin and nearly put him away. If Fedor hits him like that...
This is going to be Fedor versus a Brazil or Australian Tim Sylvia.
It's over.
That's all this is.
Where's the Australian portion
versus you know.
Okay. You know, I think the thing is like I said, if Emelianenko tags Silva the way Mike Kyle was able to tag Silva, he's going to fall him to the ground and finish him the hell off. I think you're pretty safe in picking Fedor here. You know, the only wild card with Fedor is he's coming off his first loss in 11 years. How's that going to affect him mentally? I don't think it's going to affect him.
I think it's going to be a positive.
You think it's going to make him hungry?
Well, not hungry. I just think he'll probably have taken his training a little more seriously. Probably would have put a little more fire back into him.
There's 3 ways you could look at this.
It's fightingstupid.blogspot.com.